everyone? This is Gabriel from jjcrespomusic.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about bar chords and just how simple it is to learn them on the guitar if you know your open chords well. Cool? So let's get into it. So we're going to start with our first bar chord, which is kind of doing a basic major triad barred. We're going to start with C. This is C open. You guys know this voicing, right? So we're going to do C barred. Now, all of these barred chords that we're going to be doing correlate to some open chord shape in some way. So if I go back on the neck of the guitar and we remember how to play an A, I'm going to imagine playing that A, those three notes, 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string on the 2nd fret with just my ring finger. Now this is kind of preparing us for how we're going to play a barred C. Now we're going to move this all the way up to the 5th fret, and then I'm going to add my C on the 5th string at the 3rd fret, and that is how you play a barred C. So that's a C major triad. Now if I move it up 2 frets, I get D major, move it up another 2, E major. Now for our next chord, we're going to learn how to play a C minor chord. So we're going to use the same idea of knowing how to play our A major shape here, and now if we want to play A minor, right, we know that chord, that's one of the first chords we'll probably learn on guitar. So if we take that same shape, now imagine you don't have an index finger, and you slide that all the way up to here to the 4th fret, and then we put our C, you now have C minor. Now, just like you can make A minor 7 by lifting off the one finger, in this case we're going to lift off the pinky, and I've now got a C minor 7. Our next shape is going to be based off of the E shape. So if we take the E shape and we start, again, with the idea of not having an index finger, and the reason I want this index finger free is because this is going to substitute as the nut of the guitar, or if you've played with a capo, kind of the same concept, I'm going to now use it to bar. If I move it up 1 fret, I'm going to get an F chord, okay? If I move it up to the 3rd fret, I'm now getting G. So if you want to do that simple chord change of C to G, you can now do that this way. Right? And refer to the number system video to kind of see how this works in the number system. This will make playing a lot of songs or transposing them, changing keys, a lot easier. So if we're in the key of C, I could consider this going from 1 to 5, right? Now, if I wanted to move these same two shapes up to the 5th fret, D, and then to A, I now have the 1 and 5 in the key of D major. So this is how bar chords can come in super handy. Okay, now let's learn one more shape. So just like we can do E major here, we can also do E minor, right? If I'm doing G major right here on the 3rd fret, taking off the middle finger, I've now got G minor, okay? And there's a couple ways I can play minor 7 with this shape. I can simply take off the pinky and now I've got minor 7, like so, okay? Or I can do this more jazzy voicing of minor 7. Now this voicing is nice because when we get into playing chord progressions like 2-5-1s, I'm already set up to play them. So for instance, in the key of G, starting with a G major scale, going G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, right? My 2 chord would be an A minor 7, my 5 chord would be a D7 dominant, and then my 1 chord would be now a G major 7. So I could do a 2-5-1 very simply by going, right? And if I needed to move that same shape into, let's say, the key of A, which is just 2 frets up, I could do the same exact thing. Right? I'm going from B minor to E dominant 7 to A major 7. It's important to kind of memorize these voicings and movement, track the movement when you're playing a song, because you'll be able to move it up and down the neck of the guitar if you're tracking the movement. So for instance, if I'm doing a chord progression, I'm not only thinking about, oh, am I playing here? If this is my 1 chord, right? Then this would be my 4, and this would be my 5. So this is kind of a concept we might use in the blues, right? So I might go, and then I'm gonna switch to my 4. Now, in the blues, we remember that most of the chords, when they're 7th chords, they're dominant 7 chords. So I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Now, where does this shape come from? C7? Same concept as playing an A7 opened, okay? So I'm on the 4th string and 2nd string. Cool. So those are a few tips on barred chords and how to learn bar chords. Practice moving them up the neck. And my recommendation is find an easy chord progression from a song that you're very well familiar with, open chord wise, so that way you can practice moving around with bar chords. And the next step, of course, is taking a song that you already know how to play in barred chords and moving it up or down the neck by a whole or half step to practice how well you can track this movement from chord to chord. As always, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.